Hey guys, it's your girl Lakeisha Marie and welcome to my channel, The Wellness Rocks Gym. So today I'm going to be talking to you about my personal eating habits because I think it's a good idea to give you a foundation of how I come to the way I eat today, because the more and more I post recipe videos, you will see that my recipes, encompass different types of eating styles such as vegetarian, vegan, pescatarian, and you will also see some raw food menus. So I think it'd be a good idea just to give you a foundation of why I eat the way I eat, so you don't think I'm just kind of like all over the place. Now, it all started last year before my birthday. I really wanted to lose some weight before I traveled over to Europe and the UK. So what I did, I put myself on a personal 3-week challenge where I stayed away from meat, dairy, and sugar, period, like 3 weeks before my birthday. Now, to avoid getting sick, because at that time I did plan to go back to eating meat, and to avoid getting sick, a friend of mine told me to don't just go totally cold turkey from meat, so I just ate meat maybe like once a week or once every other day or something like that. So before I left to go to Europe, I did lose 4 pounds. Now my goal was to lose 5, so I was happy. I was happy with the progress that I made. So when I went over to Europe, I came back and I decided to just dive right into the vegetarian lifestyle. I started to do a lot of research about vegetarianism, because I did want to be a junk food vegetarian, somebody that ate a lot of junk food and a lot of processed foods. So in order to avoid that, the first thing I did was I read the book by Alicia Silverstone called The Kind Diet. Now that book is a really good book, and it also have different menus that you can actually follow. If you want to just try out eating a vegetarian way or eating a vegan way, it has some menus in there that you can follow. Now, after doing research for so long, I did come across a couple of documentaries. I came across Food Inc. and Food Matters, and after watching those documentaries and seeing how meat is actually processed before we buy it in the grocery store, that just was even more encouragement for me just to stay away from meat. And so I pretty much, guys, just went cold turkey. Now that, no pun intended, I pretty much went cold turkey, and I was able to go cold turkey because I didn't really eat a lot of meat as it is. The only meat that I bought was turkey or fish. So whenever I fixed like burgers or I had bacon in the morning, it was always turkey. And I never bought red meat. So if I did have a steak, it was because I decided to have a steak when I was out in a restaurant. I never bought pork, period. And then as far as chicken, before I started my challenge, I was already kind of shying away from buying chicken and cooking chicken at home, so I may have it at a restaurant as well. So since I wasn't eating a lot of meat anyway, it was pretty easy for me just to go cold turkey from eating meat. So after several months of doing research into the vegetarian lifestyle, I was starting to get very confused and frustrated, because the 4 pounds that I lost before my birthday, I had gained them back, and I was stuck at another plateau. So I had consumed a lot of information about being a vegetarian, and a lot of the pros and the cons, and one of the cons was B12 deficiency, because if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, if you're diet is not balanced, then you can be B12 deficient, and B12 is very imperative for our nervous system, and unfortunately B12 is only found in meat, so you can't get B12 from vegetables. So after learning that, I decided to put seafood back into my diet in order to get, you know, that B12 that, you know, that I needed in my diet. So I just, you know, started to eat a lot of processed, you know, vegan foods, like, you know, tofu burgers, tofu, or, you know, the meatless chicken that you would find in the freezer section. And I did not want to get into the habit of buying those items all the time, because in my mind, even though they were meatless, it was still, to me, considered to be processed. It was still processed foods, you know. And I was buying like the vegan, you know, the vegan cheese and things of that nature, and I did not want to make that a habit. So, you know, I, you know, began, you know, this plateau.